Well, the Hunger Games have begun. Alex Becker has dropped his Google Doc full of alpha info, scheduling, rules, how to play, how to not get rugged, what sort of clues to look out for in order to get his meme coin. He's launching an official meme coin. If you didn't know that already, go watch our other videos. This video is going to be breaking down exactly the rules, regulations, how to play, and how to have a massive advantage. I've summarized them with a nice little graphic, which we'll go through together because it is confusing and it's supposed to be confusing. It's supposed to be chaos on purpose. So our job is to try and take that chaos, distill it down into something that is at least understandable. Knowing what we're looking for is going to be a lot more helpful than everyone just going through the rubbish thinking that they've found something crazy insightful and it's just like a half-eaten chicken bone. So we're going to start at the post. Let's start at the top. So we put in capital letters, meme coin drop, meme coin drop, meme coin drop. I'm not going to keep reading more. There doesn't seem to be any sort of spelling irregularities or any spacing. Don't take my word for it. Go check yourself, because remember, from now on, as you can see down here, the first cipher is on. I'll tell you exactly more about what that means, but everything that he's posting now could be a clue. And that's what he wants. Again, we'll scroll down ahead a little bit more. And the guy says, Lucas Demos says, what's the point of doing this if you're going to put almost zero effort in post-launch and not profit from it? Becker says, because it's funny. I think that is 80% the reason he's doing it. And the other 20% is because he's going to be getting more and more views. If you go to his most viewed stuff, it's the treasure hunt from last cycle. And he knows that you have to watch every second of his video. You have to look at every one of his tweets. He's going to get way more popular because of this treasure hunt. Read details in the thread below. Share, like, comment to rack up cool points. He said that a few times, cool points. I'm not thinking it's anything crazy special at the moment, but we'll see if it develops into anything. At 10,000 likes, I reveal. So it got over 10,000 likes, 14,000 likes here, and he revealed. This is the schedule, the rules, and how to play. People that solve the ciphers are going to inherit the earth. Solving the ciphers. Again, I won't explain that right now. We'll go through a little bit more first, and then I'll talk about what the 8 ciphers are going to be. A serious note, read all of this or you're screwed. It's insanely important. Now, there's going to be a lot of that. I'm going to skip over a lot of that because I've given my warnings here before. You can get your wallet drained if you're hooking up to the wrong stuff. If you're a beginner, please take a lot of caution. That's the only time I'm going to really say it, because Becker says it 100 times. A lot of people will get scammed, and a lot of people will be late, and a lot of people will lose money. We're trying to be the 1% that makes 7 figures. Or the 0.1% that makes 7 figures, or the 1% that makes 6 figures or 5 figures from this. And you know that the odds are stacked against all of us. Again, that's all I will say on that. Let's get into the actual document. So this is the document here. You can see he's got, looks like Woody at the top. This is an image. And again, anything could be a clue from here on in. I'm going to skip over any of the things that are talking about you must read everything to get, otherwise you're going to get scammed. It can be subject to change at any reason at any time. By participating, you accept all liability and responsibility. Cool, we already understand that. This is where it really starts. He says, hey, in the most hilarious greeting he could be possibly writing for the start of a treasure hunt here. I'll be dropping a meme coin in the next 30 to 45 days. Huge. We've got our timeline. So it's November 21 here, meaning it's going to be about Christmas when it drops. Between Christmas and New Year's, the 20th of December to just after, well, about my birthday, 6th of Jan. And so I'll be updating this document that we're reading right now with info over the time span. So this document we're going to keep open and just going to see if there's been any changes added to it. We might even get some AI to monitor it and send us an alert if Becker comes in and makes a change. Maybe we'll add that into our inner circle, because I personally would like to see that. Here's some keys. I take absolutely zero supply. So Becker is not profiting from this. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into this. He's not making a dime. He's just going to repeat that over and over. He is saying that he's not going to be working on the project. Its only utility, guys, is it's a meme. Like, the coin will work like a traditional meme coin similar to Doge, Pepe, and Peanut. There's no utility. There's no promise of future value. There is a gamble that you're going to make if you buy this thing. It's just a meme. There's no insiders, which is actually interesting because there is insiders based on these ciphers, which we'll get into. Pre-buyers or early buyers. I guess no insiders. There are early buyers and pre-buyers. This will be 100% a fair drop. And fair drop traditionally is where you just release it publicly and the first in gets to buy as much as they want, but it's just a race once you've released the contract address pump fund, which he says he's going to do. Whoever there is first when it drops gets it. Again, not technically true based on what else is in this document. I will not tell any other key opinion leaders, that's influencers, friends, family, even my dog, and the devs are going to be legally bounded so that they can't actually share the contract address or buy it themselves, which I don't actually know why they need a dev so much. Maybe it's a dev that's on his team or something, but if they're launching on Pump Fun, they don't need a developer to develop anything. So that's something to come back and look at. Don't message him personally. The coin has not currently released. It will release at a future date and time location. We'll get into that. I will release hints, riddles that will reveal this info in chunks. So what happened last year is he would put a tweet out and that would have a third of the clue in it. And the tweet the day later would have another third. And the tweet the day later would have another third. And a lot of people would actually just run away with the first chunk and be like, this is the whole clue, when it is going to be chaos. He knows it's going to be chaos. He says it's going to be chaos. And the hints and riddles will likely occur in chunks and being maybe half of it's on his YouTube, half of it's on his Twitter. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. People will figure them out, will be able to know when the drop will happen and beat others to the drop. I'll be releasing 8 extreme puzzles. Now this here is the start of it. So let me pull up this little clarity board, I'll call it over here, where you have the ciphers and there's going to be 8 ciphers. So let's decipher what he says about the ciphers right now. Let's go back over here. These are the 8 extreme puzzles. They will be subtle with no clear indicators. The first person to solve each of these puzzles will be able to add their wallet to a form. Okay, very interesting. Adding your Solana wallet, and if you don't have a Solana wallet set up, you better get one set up in preparation for this, because there's no time to be loading a wallet once this contract address or these ciphers are dropping. This will be on an asset I clearly control. No wallet signatures or communication or access will be required. Now, what he's doing here and why this is in capital is because if you go onto a website and they say connect your wallet to be one of the 8 ciphers and you click sign, they're going to drain your wallet. He's saying what's going to happen is, and this is what happened last time, it was literally a Google form, a Google input form, and you copy your wallet address and you paste it in there so that he doesn't have access to your wallet at any time. Don't be signing anything out there, guys. Don't be allowing anyone to access your wallet. Becker is saying that there won't be wallet signatures. Obviously, the above will lead to a ton of scammers, what we're just talking about. I expect tons of people to act like complete fools and lose their money. Again, we're not going to harp on about that here. There are going to be people out there. Please make sure it's not you. Become educated in the blockchain space. It's a really cool excuse to increase your blockchain knowledge, upskill in blockchain and crypto and knowing how everything works, and you'll be way better equipped for the future in making money. And so Becker has made 5 ways that he is going to try and prevent us from being scammed, or not specifically us, but for the real beginners and the dummies out there. And there's a couple of clues in here if you look at it, because it's going to show you what to look out for. When the coin drops, it will be on an asset that I control. I actually don't know what that means, to be honest. We'll come back to that maybe in a few days. I'll break it down inside the inner circle and get everyone's thoughts on it, because on an asset I control, I think it's just going to be on Solana, and he doesn't control Solana. So when the coin drops, it'll be on an asset I control. Pump Fun, I don't know. I actually don't know how that would be an asset that he controls. I will be taking steps in the next week or so to come up with a system that makes it easier to verify the coin. So it might be a cryptographic hash. It may be even just putting it somewhere on his Twitter or something that, he's actually tweeted about it. But there's going to be a lot of fake coins launching, especially around December 20. How do you know which one is going to be his? There needs to be a way that if you solve the clues, you can be sure that you've reached the right answer. There will not be some pre-sale or something you are required to stuff lots of money into. So don't pay for anything before the token drops. You don't need to pay. I'll likely do a drop on Pump Fun. Pump Fun is it's basically like a UI on top of a Solana that incubates meme coins, and it's off blockchain. And once it hits, I think $50,000 of funding, then it gets sailed out into the big ocean. I will verify my Pump Fun creation name or something. So again, he just wants to make sure that we're going to know if the riddles are solved, which one to actually put our money into. To prevent any chance of loss, do not click connect or interact. Okay, we already know that. Next, again, don't click or connect. Cool. Once the coin reaches a $5 million market cap, which should take seconds, I will share the official contract on his Twitter. So if it's on Pump Fun, what's going to happen is people are going to solve the clues. They're going to find this. If you find it first, and it's going to be absolutely hectic, because if you can find this and you can verify that it's Becker's based on whatever mechanism he chooses to be able to verify it, and you can see this under a 1 mil market cap. I mean, I'm speaking personally here. There's no real amount of money that I would put in here. If I know I'm first at this, and I know there's tens of thousands of people behind me, and I can verify that it's the right one, I know it's going up. And I know it's going up probably a 10x, if not 100x. And so I would be very happy to personally put a large chunk of all of my crypto into here because I know I could at least get a double and then get the hell out, or I could get a triple, or I could hold on and try and get 100x and see if I can find the liquidity to get all that money out. And so it's going to be interesting because it is going to go up really quickly because everybody knows that people who get there first, they're going to have the most money because they're the big brains who solve the blockchain riddles and they obviously know what they're doing. They're going to have a higher average income, but also they're going to bid harder because they know they're earlier. So this thing will literally $5 million market cap in a split second, I personally think. I'm absolutely not responsible for you being careless. Once again, yep. While remote, there's a chance of his assets like his Twitter and YouTube could be hacked. To avoid any chance of loss, please refer to the bolded image above. Also, I don't know what this was. There was no real bolded image. The only image up here is Woody. I don't know how that helps knowing if his Twitter was hacked or not. So that's just the risk that we play at. And I guess if you're early enough to the scam coin too, you might be able to profit that if they can hack his Twitter. Okay, so again, there's some more jargon about don't get ripped off. This here is important. I will not drop the coin until all riddles and hints are dropped, which are going to be these. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 8 is 14. So unless we've counted 14 riddles being dropped, the coin is not coming out yet. I will make it clear when they are wrapped up and we are getting close. So he's going to give us a signal, a very clear signal when we can expect the coin. Don't mint anything before then. Don't put money into anything unless you know it's not a Becker thing until he gives us the signal. This is where it gets juicy, guys. Tuck into this bit. How the drop will work. It will happen at some point in the next 30 40 to 45 days. Okay, we already know that. That's the timeline between early Christmas and my birthday. There will be 8 pieces of content on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, it's very interesting that he mentions Instagram here because down here, I will not drop anything on my Instagram. I don't want you depraved lunatics following me there anyways, which is hilarious. But I think maybe you thought twice and didn't come back and edit the document. So I won't really be watching his Instagram. I believe that there won't be much there. But there will be 8 pieces of content on his YouTube and Twitter. Each piece of content will contain a cipher. These will be extremely complex, non-clear riddles you'll have to piece together in the videos. The first person to solve these ciphers in each video will be added to a list of 8 total people. This line clears everything up for us here. So there's going to be 8 ciphers, and if you don't know what a cipher is, it's basically a way to get text, like normal English text, into a code or an encryption. And so what he's going to have is probably going to have the encryption in the video, and then we have to get it back into English. And so you saw that one hint that he dropped where he has the writing next to his neck, and it's like RSXXH hashtag or something. Basically, there will be some form of pattern that you can use to turn that back into English. And I'll tell you where I think they're going to lead in just a second. I'll get to the end of this first. But if there's going to be 8 of those total, and they're discrete, they're isolated clues, so that if you solve one of those clues, you can be the total 8 people, one of these 8 people, that will be able to get a small amount of the meme coin's total supply reserved before drop at the lowest possible acquisition price / liquidity price, meaning you get a pre-sale. You get to be one of the first 8 people who buys. You get to whitelist your wallet, and they will probably airdrop you a portion, a small amount, which would be actually curious what percent that actually is of the total supply. But if you you could solve all 8 and get all 8 positions with 8 different wallets. Obviously, if the coin does well, this will give them extreme returns. Yeah, these 8 people will get the highest ROIs because they're first in, as long as they sell at the right point. But they only get a small amount too. Remember, if you're 9th, you can move $1 million into this thing. Where if you get a small amount, you may only get 10 grand worth or so, which, I mean, it's great, and we can still look to solve these ciphers, but that is the first lot of 8 clues. And it's important to know that there's 2 groups of clues, because you don't want to be back solving clue number 1 when that's already been solved. And it's like, oh, he said something here about Scoot, his dog. Maybe that's the location that he's going to drop it. It's like, no, the drop clues will be about where he's dropping this token, where he's dropping the pump fund link. And we're going to get into that in a second. But there's 8 discrete individual clues that could earn you what we'll call a whitelist allocation. Now, there will also be 5 hints / puzzles, and I think it's actually 6, and I'll get to that in a second, that reveal the date, the time, the time in hours, the time in minutes, the time zone, the location where the drop announcement will be, and then the drop announcement itself will be a confusing puzzle. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've copied this over slightly wrong, but let's clarify it together. You've got hours, minutes, and the date. So if you know what hour and what minute on what date it's dropping, say it's going to be like the 21st of December at 1:30 p.m. You've got the first 3 clues, but they're going to be dropped in different pieces of content sporadically. So you might get the number 2, and you're like, oh, we don't know if that's the hours, we don't know if that's the minutes, we don't know if it's part of the date, which you probably know that one. But it will, I think, become more and more apparent as more of these question marks get filled in. The time zone is then important, because if you've got the 21st at 2:30 p.m., but then he's like, in Serbian time, you'd be like, oh, crap, that's a very different time. I'm going to have to wake up in the middle of the night than if I thought it was Austin, Texas or Gold Coast, Australia time. And then finally, once you've got those 4 pieces of information, you know exactly when, this is for when, those 4 pieces of information, you need to know where. And he says location, which last manhunt was a website. And so where the drop announcement will be. So maybe it's on a website, say it's like scootthedog.com/meme hunt. And then if you can solve that clue and get to that location, you will see the last clue. And that's why I've got this down here. And I think it is 6, because you've got the 5 when and wheres. And then you finally get the announcement, which he says here will also be a confusing puzzle. So that's the 6th puzzle. Once you know where it is, once you know when it is, you get the riddle in order to be able to get the contract address, in order to go to pump.fun or wherever it is and actually mint this as soon as you possibly can. All clues and hints will be dropped from my YouTube/Twitter. There's no updates inside Neo Tokyo. He says there's no updates on Instagram. He's going to make 0 from the drop. He just wants it for purely self-amusement. May this coin pamp and make you say, oh my. Okay, so now we know, we've got the briefing all down. We know that we're looking for ciphers early, and then a little bit later, once he knows the time and the location of the drop, you'll start looking for that. But we're looking to be whitelisted as one of the 8 people who can get an early allocation and make crazy ROI. So he says he's got 10,000 likes. Now he's revealing the Scoo. Now this is somewhat clue looking, because his dog's name is Scoot, and you can have a look in the picture. You can see if you can find anything down here. We're not detecting it here. We're going through the guidelines together. New video drops Saturday 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The first cipher is on. Now this is the part where it's like, okay, we know we've got 8 ciphers. Number 1 is out there, it's on, it's ready to start being solved and start allocating whitelist to one lucky person. Now, inside of our inner circle, we are putting our heads together. If you're not in the inner circle yet, we're totally welcoming you. The link is in the description below. We have a dedicated Telegram chat where we are solving Alex Becker's meme coin hunt together. The collective mind is way smarter than the scattered mind. And if we can all help each other, because it is a competition, it's a player versus player competition, but we're trying to get from the 20th percentile to the 60th percentile of people who are going to be slow to the coin, and move that all the way down to the first, say, 2% of people who can actually go and buy this coin. And therefore, it is going to be an absolute crazy time, because it's player versus player overall, and everyone's going to be buying, everyone's going to be selling. You just got to be as early as possible. And that's what we are doing inside of this group. We're also putting together softwares and tools to help us solve it. We have a nice collab Figma board up at the moment. Some awesome members of the community are putting this up, where we are looking at domains being registered that have the keywords that Alex Becker is out there tweeting about. Because in his last treasure hunt with Ilio Trades, when they did their NFT for Neo Tokyo, every single clue led to a different website. They registered 5 different websites, and if you get to one of those 5, you could whitelist your wallet. So we're thinking that the 8 cipher clues are leading to websites. So we are trawling new domains being registered, keeping out for scams too, because there's going to be a lot of scams that go out there, and just putting together and breaking down all of the content that's going out in one spot with interesting insights and discussion. Me and Tristan, who's my brother and the lead researcher inside the Inner Circle, are also doing long sit-down podcasts where we're going through all the evidence, having gone through Alex Becker's last treasure hunt, bringing them all to you in long form. We might get on some live so we can get some comments in there too, and just really focusing all of our energy to solving this, because we learn a lot, we have fun, and there's potential to make a lot of money. Also, if you're unaware, inside the Inner Circle, we track other influencers as well. We track their socials, we track their wallets, and we track their portfolios, because they have massive advantages in the crypto market. Most people out there are new. They're now excited to make some money in crypto, which is really awesome. I highly encourage that. But you have people who've been here for 3 cycles, people who dedicate 18 hours a day to research, people who are well connected, people like Becker, who literally knows all the founders of all the crypto gaming products. Or you have people like Murad, who could very easily invest in a new token, and just by him investing in a new meme coin, it would shoot up to 100 million, probably $1 billion market cap. These guys have the influence and education that I really wish I had. And so this is why we look at their socials, we look at their wallets, we look at their portfolios, so we can literally get buy and sell alerts when they buy new tokens, alerts when they talk about new tokens on something like Twitter, and looking at their portfolio, what they're holding, what they're actually putting their money where their mouth is, and buying that they think will make them the most money. We copy trade these whales so we can get the exact same results they do. That software, the whale tracker, is available inside our inner circle with all the other good stuff for this super cycle. So please come and join us. I'd love to see you in there. Thanks for watching.